What's good, everybody? It is Sunday. November 13th, 2022. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We call it the Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting. And it is not close. Coming off two fantastic days here at the brand. 6-0-1 on Friday. How about 15-10 on Saturday? Collectively, that's 21-10-1 from Big Pick Energy Friday and also our Saturday incredible show. Now, don't forget Sunday's our busiest day here at the brand. In addition to this morning show, we have a 12 p.m. Eastern live stream. All the 1 o'clock games, all the 4 o'clock games. And tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You guys love it. We love doing it for you. We count down to Sunday Night Football at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But on Sunday mornings, as the Seahawks and the Bucks are playing to a stalemate currently in Germany, we got live sweats going on. Let's bring in the stars of the show because if it's Tuesday or if it's Sunday morning, I got my OGs. First and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday brunch. Love when we have these international football games. Two decent teams in today's matchup, so enjoying watching this one early.
Mikey, real quick, Eric in the chat said, just hit the second Seahawks drive to result in a punt. Great way to start this morning. Good morning, fellas. Can we actually bet on drives to end a certain way?
You definitely can. You can bet the exact result, whether it's punt, field goal attempt, touchdown. You can bet multiple different markets on it. It's a lot of fun to do, especially in the NFL like this. You can actually still bet them during the live drive as well. So it's not just locked once the drive starts. You can bet them during the drive itself. Yep.
I guess you learn something all the time. All right, up next, he is the stoic one. He runs the NFL here at SportsLine and here on the Early Edge. He is RJ White. RJ, good morning, sir.
Guten Morgen, Coach. Best American football game, the biggest American football game in Germany since World Bowl 15 in Frankfurt in 2007. Highest scoring World Bowl ever in that game. The final game of NFL Europe, as the league instead after that decided to shift to promoting the NFL by scheduling international games. And that's how we get to where we are today. So little connection there with the Germany games.
Amazing. A Chick-fil-A nugget on a Sunday. It doesn't normally happen like that. Thank you, RJ. Now, nobody loves the NFL like my man, the Maestro, Larry Hartstein. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. I'm curious what the final score of that World Bowl is. You said it was very high scoring, RJ.
It was 37-28. The Hamburg Sea Devils beat the Frankfurt Galaxy in that game in Frankfurt.
And for this game, you could probably go under 37 total with confidence. But it is shocking to see the Bucks actually running the ball pretty decently at this point. But I got to tell you, I saw an email before the show. You are going to be shocked at Mikey's pick today.
Shocked at Mikey's pick today.
Stunned.
Quite the tease. All right, let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines today. My goodness, what a week of storylines it has been in the National Football League. But there is an MVP candidate that all week we just didn't know. RJ, start us off.
Yeah, Josh Allen now expected to play. Buffalo was -9.5 on the look ahead, reopened at -8.5, then dropped throughout the week as we were worried about his injury. Line was as low as -3 on Friday and Saturday. I was hoping he'd get to 2.5 all week, and then I would play it because I like them even with Case Keenum at that number. Missed out on it because it's now come back up. Buffalo did not elevate Mac Barkley from the practice squad by 4 p.m. Saturday, which leads everybody to believe now that Allen's going to play. Line is shot back up to -6.5, didn't get all the way back to the 8.5. If you're playing Buffalo, I prefer the first half line. Payne is going to be easier to manage early if there is Payne he's managing than it is after halftime. Allen has been the focus all week. 2 game time decisions also at quarterback in Arizona and the Rams. That line's bounced between 1.5 and 3. Looks like we're trending toward both quarterbacks sitting there.
I absolutely love both of those storylines. Of course, at noon Eastern time today, we'll be all over both of those games. Now, if you watched any network this week, I worked with Jeff Saturday for a couple of years, love him. Everybody else, they started everything out with, man, Jeff Saturday's the best dude ever. But what about this? Maestro, talk to me.
Such an interesting matchup in Vegas today with the Colts at the Raiders because we saw this line up at 6.5. When they announced Jeff Saturday, everybody thinks it's going to be a circus. He picks a play caller, a 30-year-old who has never called plays before named Parks Frazier. But all the money is coming in on the Colts. Why? Because the Raiders look like they're just punting on the season. Darren Waller, who was close to playing a couple of weeks straight, all of a sudden he's on IR. Renfro's on IR. The leading tackler is on IR. The replacement, Blake Martinez, leads the team in tackles with 11. Then he sells a Pokemon card for $670,000 and he retires midweek. So, what is going on with this team? The one thing I can say for certain is Devontae Adams said they need to force the ball to me. Well, today they are going to force the ball to him because it's basically him and Mac Hollins, and that's it. But all the money has come in on the Colts. We're seeing this down to 4. Colts do have still a very good defense, even though the offense looks terrible. I do like that Saturday did not rule out Matt Ryan. So, if Sam Ehlinger is like 2 for 12, maybe we see Matt Ryan, whereas before they were saying, it's Ehlinger for the rest of the season.
And here I thought you were the only one that I knew that was active in the Pokemon trading business. But alas, there's somebody else. All right, now there are 7 games in the National Basketball Association starting at noon Eastern time, going all the way up to 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Just because it's all about the NFL does not mean we can forget about the NBA. Mikey, you're up.
Yeah, let's start with Memphis. The big ones here. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, both doubtful to play today at Washington. Washington's currently favored at home in that game. Jaren Jackson Jr. not ready to return yet either. For Minnesota and Cleveland, on the Cleveland side, Donovan Mitchell listed as questionable. Jarrett Allen and Dean Wade also join him questionable. Wade missed the last game. For the 76ers, DeAnthony Melton did not play last night. He is questionable once again tonight on the second night of a back-to-back. And then for the Lakers here, we've got Anthony Davis listed as probable. LeBron James remains doubtful for this game.
All right, get those down. You always got to grab your paper, grab your pencil whenever Mikey's giving you the injury report. All right, there are no picks today from SportsLine because we have a little bonus at the end of the show for you that you have to stay for past the recap screen. But when I have these 3 and I'm feeling good and Mikey named Sunday brunch and somebody in the chat already said, so this is for whoever said this in the chat because I'm feeling good today. We were 21, 10, and 1 the last 2 days. So M squared, if you don't mind, you know the drill, son. Oh, it doesn't matter if it's DFS today. It doesn't matter if it's NFL. It doesn't matter even if we go back to the well. Mikey, give it to me.
Yeah, we're going back to the well with Tyreek again. If we could just play the clip from last week and the week before and the week before. But no, I like Tyreek Hill once again. Bad news is I bet it at 93.5 about an hour ago when we started sending picks in. It has moved to 96.5. The good news is I would still play it. I, in the computer, have this number on Tyreek at 113. Anytime I have a yardage number above 90, I'm looking for 10 yards of edge minimum. Good thing is we've got that still at the 96. I would play this all the way to 103 if I had to. Looking for another 100-yard game from Tyreek. So quickly about the Browns, they play cover 3 at one of the highest rates in the NFL. Tua has the best passer rating against cover 3 over the last 2 seasons in the NFL. We always think about how man-to-man coverage is ideal for Tyreek, and that's true. It's just difficult to guard him in any spot. But what he does exceptionally well is find holes in the zone. Him and Jalen Waddle rank 1st and 3rd in the NFL in yards per route run versus zone so far this season. Tyreek Hill's target share increases significantly, all the way up to about 42%. Love this spot for Tyreek. I also love the fact that I think the Browns are going to be able to push the Dolphins. I think we're going to find a competitive football game here. Tyreek gets there through sheer volume. I said I'm going to keep playing this number until we see props in the 100 yards range. Probably means next week is when we start to see it after he cashes again today.
Our girl Allison says Tyreek the Freak. This is now starting to get into Cooper Kupp respect territory from the books. Remember last year it got into 105, 106, 107. And he still would catch those numbers. It's crazy. Can't get high enough for these guys like Tyreek Hill. Now, you know who's coming next. And this man has been so busy this week because there's been so many changes. We don't know what quarterbacks are playing. But that's why you come to us. RJ, you're up.
Yeah, like a teaser here. I'm going to go Denver and Arizona, both at plus 8.5. No offense needed to buy more than Denver. I think they're going to improve, play a little more up tempo, maybe take the Tennessee defense off guard a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit more about another play I like in that game there. On the Arizona side, Stafford seems more of a long shot to play than Murray, even though both are unlikely. Arizona's offensive line is beat up, so people aren't going to want to play them. That just makes them as bad as the Rams' offensive line, which has been one of the worst in the league. Then you look at the backup quarterbacks here. Colt McCoy won in San Francisco and Seattle in place of Murray last year. Had great stats in those games. Veteran quarterback. I trust him way more than I do Wolford. So if both quarterbacks ruled out pre-game, I think that favors Arizona. But I do think the line would move to the Rams in that sense, because I think there's already expectation Stafford is going to miss that game. So both these totals under 40 in these two games, getting 8.5 has more value in a higher scoring game. So that's why I like this teaser, Denver and Arizona, both at plus 8.5. Now another play from the Denver game, Russell Wilson over 229.5 passing yards. I expect Denver's offense to be more up-tempo. Like I said, coming out of the bye, more plays equals more overs in the offense. Wilson topped 230 yards in 3 of his last 4 before the bye, including one game with just 25 attempts. Tennessee's defense down Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, Hooker, maybe Christian Fulton. Just it's a matched unit over there. So I think that really favors the passing game. They're going to look to get it going in this game with Russell Wilson. Last play, Jonathan Taylor over 17.5 rushing attempts. Full practices Thursday and Friday. No Jackson, no Hines. He's the workhorse here. Top 20 carries in 3 of his 4 games with a 70% snap rate earlier in the season. Outlier was the Jacksonville shutout, which of course you're not going to play him as much in that game with how that was going. And then you look at the new coach, which Larry talked about, Jeff Saturday. What do you think the offensive plan is going to be for Saturday? It's going to be running on first down, running on second down, running on third down. Just keep running it. We don't want Sam Ellinger to throw the ball at all. So Taylor seems to like he's going to get to 20 carries in this game pretty easily.
I got to tell you, when Jeff Saturday said, I care, he said, I know football. That's exactly what he knows. Hand it to Jonathan Taylor, and hopefully that ankle is healthy. All right, Mike says, by the way, Julio Jones, touchdown for the Bucs, 7-0 early second quarter. Mike says, hey, early edge crew, I landed in Vegas last night. I was talking about the early edge, and I was turned around my winning percentage. Not only is the guy I was talking to already sold, the limo driver is also sold. Let's go. Spreading the word nationwide. Now, grab your paper, grab your pencil, because we got to hurry. The Maestro's got a radio appearance this morning when you talk about spreading the word across the nation. So, Maestro, if you don't mind, we already have all these nuggets that we've taken notes on. I would love to take notes on you. You're up.
All right, I'm going to run through these pretty fast. Cowboys laying the lumber at Green Bay. This line has come down all the way to 3.5. I posted it at 4 on SportsLine. It's a mismatch up front. There's no Rashawn Gary. There's no Devondre Campbell. There's no Stokes. I mean, those are 3 key defenders that the Packers lost. We all know how bad their offense is. The Cowboys lead the league in sacks. They only give up 16 points a game. I don't care if Zeke Elliott doesn't play because Tony Pollard is more explosive anyway. Mike McCarthy coming back to Green Bay. He's 6-2 as a road favorite against the number with the Cowboys. Dak is also very good as a road favorite. Love the Cowboys in this spot. The other 2, Justin Fields over 58.5 rushing yards. Shattered this 4 straight weeks. A lot of designed runs. We know how bad the Lions are on regular running plays. They're actually the worst team in the league at defending scrambles. So this just sets up for a monster day for Justin Fields. This number is going to be in the 60s next week, his rushing prop, if not low 70s. And then the final one, Amari Cooper over receiving yards, had 131 yards before the bye. They're going to have to keep up with the Dolphins. We all think the Dolphins are going to put up a lot of points. Well, somebody's going to have to keep up. The Dolphins play a lot of man coverage. They're actually very weak in the secondary. That is their one weakness. So if this game plays out like I think with the Dolphins ahead, Cooper is going to get his. He's gone over 3 of his last 4. This number is pretty low at 62.5. I also should mention David Njoku is out. That's about 5 or 6 targets a game, and his backup does not really get targeted, Harrison Bryant.
No doubt about it. I think it's going to be a competitive game too. Chat question or chat comment of the week. Thomas says, was a limo driver named Matty Severance by chance? And now I've got that in my head. Opening the door, hat on. Sorry, he says. Oh, man. Snoopy will always have the greatest moment on the show ever. All right, I told you, Maestro's got to get out of here. So finally, grab those papers, grab those pencils. Here we go. M squared's on Tyreek Hill over 93.5 receiving yards. Don't forget, he'll be here all throughout the day. Then the Maestro, Justin Fields over 58.5 rush yards. Remember, last week he went for $174. Then Amari Cooper over 62.5 receiving yards, minus 115. And that Cowboys number just keeps coming down, now all the way down to 3.5. If you waited, we talked about it on Tuesday. If you waited, then you are one of the lucky ones. Then R.J. White, Russell Wilson over 229.5 passing yards, minus 117. Jonathan Taylor, he's been hurt most of the year. He appears to be healthy. Over 17.5 rush attempts, minus 113. Then a little teaser. Remember, the numbers are very, very important. Get the half numbers. Broncos plus 8.5. Cardinals plus 8.5. You don't want the push scenario because the push scenario is a loss. All right. We always do something special on this show every single week. It's called The Look Ahead. RJ, what do we have? Oh, you are muted, my friend. You are muted.
Sorry, I had to do some typing there and making sure we had a pick right there. Look ahead I have is Pittsburgh plus 5.5 against Cincinnati at home. Pittsburgh line versus New Orleans now down to pick them. People are expecting them to be better coming out of their bye. If they win, they get more respect in this game. TJ Watt back playing this week, going to be playing next week. Since his offensive line has been a major issue. Jamar Chase probably plus odds to be back for the matchup. I know that they didn't put him on IR, but it feels like he's probably going to be limited throughout practice next week, and they hold him out for another week because they're big favorites in this game. So I think this Pittsburgh line is going to be lower than this, and people are going to want to be on the Pittsburgh side, even if it is at 4.5 or 4. So get it at 5.5 now.
This is one of the things that a lot of people don't know, that now the way sports betting goes and football betting, you can bet the week before. Really smart, little luck involved. We understand injuries could happen, but that's the way it goes. All right. Busy day. But you know right now there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Maestro, Stoic One, M Squared, and of course, Jake the Snake's always on the ones and the twos. I am the coach. Tell all your friends we want everybody here to be included, to be valued, to be listened to. It's what we're all about, and we all meet. You know where. Early Edge. Good luck.